What is up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed, breaking down all of the latest news, highlights, and updates going on in Cardano. Today's video is going to serve as a brief reminder to just continuously stay updated when it comes to stake pool operators and which ones you are particularly delegating to or supporting here in the growing Cardano ecosystem. Now, as many of you are aware, the amount that we actually earn in terms of ADA staking rewards from SPOs is beginning to dwindle. So this is just a case as to why you always want to make sure to stay updated or in sync. Now, many of you probably are aware of this particular personality, so I want to jump into this news piece that was released earlier. So BitBoy Crypto, also known as Ben Armstrong, was actually the founder of BitBoy Crypto, which was a 1 million subscriber plus YouTube channel. They have now actually branded or rebranded to Discover Crypto. And we've seen TJ, who actually used to be the backup man on this channel, actually taking over the channel, and BitBoy now ousted, and he's actually running his own Ben Armstrong YouTube channel. Now, because of the changes within the actual company structure itself, we've seen some updates to their B pool or the Bit pool, which is the representing pool for BitBoy Crypto, or what was known as BitBoy Crypto. So it states here, BitBoy or potentially Discover Crypto have just removed their pledge from their stake pool. People delegating to this particular pool will not receive rewards. Now, this is exactly why you want to stay on top of your stake pools and on top of your stake in order to make sure that you're continuously earning, again, as the actual amount continues to dwindle moving forward. Now, if I jump over here, I want to talk about the implications and exactly what we've seen happen. So as a little bit of background, anytime that a stake pool is started, the operator or the owner of that stake pool has to put down what is a pledge. Essentially, this is their skin in the game, and this amount has to be staked to the actual pool, right, in order for rewards to go out to delegators as blocks are minted. Every time a block is minted, anywhere between 600 to 700 ADA is rewarded to the stake pool operator, and then depending on their margin or the cut that they keep, that goes directly to them, and then the remaining rewards are evenly distributed given the proportion of stake put up by each delegator. Now, what we saw in this particular case is that about 28 days ago, the B pool stake pool removed their 100,000 pledge. Now, this was without actually reducing the pledge amount before removing that 100,000. So for the last 28 days or so, the pool has been running with less pledge than they actually had said that they were going to put up. So if I actually scroll down just a little bit, I'm going to come back up here to what we just saw there. I'm going to scroll down to the last 28 days here. What you will notice, let's see if I can find it. There it is. Here we have this 100,000 ADA being removed from the stake pool. So once this was done, the amount that they had aimed to pledge was still at 100,000 ADA. However, they had removed that 100,000 ADA. So for over the last 28 days, no stake pool rewards have been coming from this particular stake pool. I'm going to jump over to Cardano Scan in just a minute to go ahead and actually show that off to you guys. Now, what we saw was 23 hours ago, they reduced the amount that they were aiming to pledge down to 0. So because they've now made that update, right, and they have hopefully more than 0 ADA pledged, right, they should now begin redistributing rewards back over to their users. Now, there is no rule that says that you have to have an actual pledge. It's just that whatever you pledge, you have to actually have within the stake pool operator wallet. So right now, as it stands, they've got a saturation of 4.9%, a margin of 4%. However, they've got a pledge of 0. If I jump over to Cardano Scan, we can take a look here and take a look at the last couple of epochs. Again, over the last 3 epochs, as you guys can see here, the pool rewards have been at 0 and the delegator rewards have also been at 0. Again, that's when they moved that 100,000 ADA out of the pool, which they had basically sworn to pledge at all times in order to earn rewards. Now, because they're going to be dropping that down to 0, if they have 0 pledge, they can then begin to give out rewards. So I think the biggest thing to note here is that from a stake pool operator's perspective, their mistake was not actually lowering the pledge amount first before removing the 100,000 ADA. Had they done that, they still would have been able to distribute over their rewards. So moving over into Sea Explorer, I also want to just corroborate what I was just mentioning there. And as you guys can see here, the last time that they updated the stake pool was on June 12th of 2023, where they had a pledge of 100,000 ADA, fixed cost of 340 ADA, and a margin of 4%. In the last 21 hours here, we can see that they've reduced that pledge down to 0 ADA, and they've maintained the same fixed cost and the same margin. Now, in closing here, again, this was not to pick on the BitBoy pool or on Discover ADA by any means. This is just a friendly reminder, right, from a delegator standpoint to always make sure to, number one, understand who you're delegating to, and then number two, understand exactly where they are in the block production process. If a stake pool operator that you're delegating to isn't producing blocks, that is no benefit, or that is of no benefit to you, of course. But then if also they're making pledge updates or just updates to the margin without necessarily being transparent or letting the community know, that can have an impact on your reward. So make sure to constantly, right? It doesn't have to be every 5 days, but at least once per month, go ahead and double check that you are earning the rewards that you're supposed to be earning, and that the stake pool operator that you're delegating to aligns with your morals, or your morals, I should say, in the sense that they're charging a fair amount in terms of margin, and then that they're also providing a fair fixed fee that you personally align with. Now, in closing of today's brief update, I want to also talk about retired stake pools. So as it stands right now in Cardano, we've got over 1,600 different wallets, 16,000 different wallets that are currently delegating over 33 million ADA to pools that have been retired. So this is a slightly different scenario than I was just talking about with the Discover pool or the BitBoy pool. But these are pools that have actually announced that they're going to be going offline, therefore no longer producing blocks. Now, what is interesting is the fact that the largest pool here that is retired with stake has about 2.85 million. I released a video very similar to this about 6 months ago, and some of the biggest retired pools that still had active stake had around 6 to 7 million delegated. So it does seem like the community is finally waking up, especially as the price of Cardano is now shooting through the roof. More people are coming back and tending to their wallets and actually verifying who they're delegated to. But you want to make sure to go ahead and check lists like these from time to time, just to make sure that the pool that you're delegated to is not retired, therefore no longer providing you with your passive income by staking your ADA. So I'll go ahead and leave the link to Sea Explorer down below. But this was just a brief video, again, just quickly touching on some of the stake pool updates that we've seen within the ecosystem. We've had parameter updates in the last couple of months. And then again, I just ran through that particular update, or ran across that particular update with the Ben Armstrong pool, which I wanted to go ahead and quickly highlight here as a brief reminder for you guys to just stay on top of your delegations and your ADA being staked. If you enjoyed today's update, or if you learned anything along the way, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me surrounding anything we've chatted about as a part of today's video, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.